Chapter 23 National Education Policy 2020. Nowadays, this chapter is highly important for CTET point of view. In current papers, 2 or 3 questions were asked. NEP National Education Policy 1968, 1986, 1992, 2016 and 2020 are all important forms the preservative of from the perspective of examination. Policies can be understood as a course of action that involves making decisions and specific plans by institution. Policies are directed towards a common goal. They are made by organizations after through discussions and careful study of the identified problem. In India, the education policies are taken by both the central and state governments. After making policies, the process goes through many stages: implementation, analysis, and evaluation. In India, different policies regarding education has been taken from time to time. The important policies on education are listed below. National Policy Education NPE 1968. The NPE National Policy on Education. National Education Policy NEP. The NPE is based on the recommendation of Kothari Commission. So this policy of education, National Policy on Education NPE 1968. This NPE was recommendation by Kothari Commission 1964 to 66. However, in 1967, the government constituted a committee of members of Parliament on Education, APE, popularly known as Shapru Committee, to prepare the draft of a statement on the National Policy on Education NPE. The draft prepared by the committee was considered and approved by the CAPE. It was on this basis that the Government of India announced the NPE 1968. Following are the main features of NPE 1968. It emphasizes the need for raising the standards of education at all levels. It suggested the new universities to be established only after proper planning and provisions of adequate funds. It emphasizes on strengthening of postgraduate teaching and research as well as of centers of advanced study. National Policy on Education 1986. The new National Policy on Education was announced in May 1986. It comprised of 12 parts and discussed in details the essential characteristics of a national system of education. A review of National Education Policy 1986 Program of Action was done by Ramamurthy Committee. The recommendation were it provided for a common education structure like 12 plus 2 plus 3, 10 plus 2 plus 3. It suggested strengthening of adult education, vocational education, gradual replacement of affiliating system by autonomous colleges, setting up of open universities and rural university system, and fortifying technical and management education. National Educational Policy 1992 NPE 1992. The NPE 1986 was modified by the PV Narasimha Rao government in 1992. It was adopted in 2005, which was recognized as Common Minimum Program by the UPA government under Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Salient features of NPE to 1992 are as follows. It implemented all India basis common entrance examination for admission in all professional and technical programs in India. The India government laid down a three-exam scheme for admission to engineering and architecture or planning programs such as JEE, AIEE at the national level and SLEE at state level engineering entrance examination. In this policy, state level institutions have option to join AIEE, All India Engineering Entrance Examination. National Educational Policy 2016. The draft of National Education Policy NPE 2016 was released by MHRD. The focus of the policy is to address gender discriminations, the creation of educational tribunals and a common curriculum for science, mathematics and English. The salient features of NEP 2016 regarding higher education are as follows. At national level, a teacher education university will be set up covering various aspects of teacher education and faculty development, keeping in view special importance of Sanskrit. Facilities for teaching Sanskrit at the school and university stages will be offered on a more liberal scale. An independent mechanism for administrating the national higher education policy program will be put in place. A quality assurance mechanism for accreditation of all universities or institutions offering ODL or MWCs will be put in place to ensure quality, promote innovations and reshape the moderation of ODE and MOOC course and programs. In order to promote innovations, creativity and entrepreneurship, 100 more incubation centers will be established in HEIS over period of next 5 years. New Education Policy 2020. On 26 August 2020, the central government cleared the new educational policy NPE based on the report of former ISRO scientist Dr. K. Kasturirangan. The government, after rejecting the recommendation of TSR Subramaniam Committee on Education, had constituted this committee in 2017. The latest policy is third education policy to be implemented in the country and will replace the Eastwell policy of 1986. The salient features of NPE is given below. The Ministry of Human Resource Development has been renamed as Ministry of Education. It will bring more clarity about the role and mandate of the ministry. In context of school education, it provides for a 5+3+3+3+4 design corresponding to the age group 3 to 8 years foundational stage class 1 to 5, 8 to 11 preparatory stage 6, 7, 8, and 11 to 14 middle stage 9, 10, 11, and 14 to 18 secondary, 12 and 3 years graduation. Apart from providing continuity to school education, it will bring preschool under the ambit of school education. The other reforms in school education includes overhauling the curriculum, easier board exam, a reduction in the syllabus to retain core essentials, and thrust on experimental learning and critical thinking. The students till class 5 are also advised to be taught in mother tongue at school. In adapting a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model for school education starting at age 3, the policy recognizes the primacy of the formative years from age 3 to 8 in shaping the child's future. The NEP recommended that early childhood care and education should be developed in a two-part curriculum constituting of guidelines for parents and teachers of students up to 3 years of age and an educational framework for students between the age of 3 to 8 years. The NEP talks about the implementation of this recommendation by expanding and improving the quality of the Anganwadi system and co-locating them with primary schools. Another key aspect of school education is the new policy. In the new policy is the breaking of the strict division of arts, commerce and science stream in high school. This can lay the foundation for a multidisciplinary approach in higher education. The scheme has introduced the vocational course with an internship. This may encourage the vulnerable section of society to send their children to school. Also, it would help in realization of the goal of Skill India mission. The policy proposes multilingual, which has great cognitive benefits for young students. Thus, overall, the policy emphasizes on flexible multi-level activity based on learning. The policy promotes an assessment procedure which will provide information on how to support the students in and out of a classroom teaching learning process. As per the policy, education must develop critical thinking and problem solving among students, be inquiry drive and discovery oriented. The NEP 2022 proposed the extension of the right to education to all children up to the age of 18. The policy seeks to leverage the huge potential of online pedagogy and learning methodologies for increasing gross enrollment in higher education. In higher education, following reforms has been suggested: replacing UGC and AICTE with the Higher Education Commission of India (HECI), allowing reputed foreign institutions to open their campuses; reintroduction of 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's program with exit option; discontinuation of MPhil program; constitute of National Research Foundation to enhance the pace of research in the country; flexibility to institution to offer different design for master's program; phasing out of all institutions offering single streams, and all universities and colleges must aim to become multidisciplinary by 2040. In teacher teaching, following reforms has been suggested: large number of merit-based scholarships shall be instituted across the country for studying quality 4 years integrated B.Ed course. The TETs will also be extended to cover teachers across all stages: foundational, preparatory, middle and secondary of school education. For continuous professional development (CPD), continuous professional development, teachers will be given opportunity for self-improvement and to learn the latest innovations and advance in their professions. A national professional standards for teachers, national NPST, National Professional Standard for Teachers, will be developed by 2022 after constitution with all the stakeholders. A new National Assessment Center, PARAK, Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development, will be set up as standard setting body. The government had decided to implement all these reforms in gradual manner till 2040. Further, the expenditure in education will be raised to 6% of GDP, gross development production, to unscale the quality and meet the rising demands from the education sectors.